What defines Batman? Bruce Wayne has put his entire being into transcending the limits of man and becoming a true symbol for justice. As a result, there are many complex and multifaceted aspects to the Caped Crusader, with the Robins throughout the years each serving as a reflection on what they believe makes Batman who he is. Through their perspectives, we learn different aspects of the Dark Knight, Gotham, the Rogues Gallery, and the mythos as a whole. That's why it has always been a treat for longtime viewers to see each Robin take Bruce's mantle. But none of them have taken the role permanently. For one reason or another, they have all failed to keep Batman alive. It's why Batman dying alongside Bruce is so prevalent within the stories. Fortunately, there still is one lone person who embodies the Dark Knight, even if he might not seem like it from the onset. Without a doubt, no one has been a better successor to Wayne than Terry McGinnis. For those unfamiliar, Terry is the main character of Batman Beyond, a series that takes place 20 years later in Neo Gotham, a futuristic version of Gotham City with staggering high rises and advanced technology like flying vehicles. A city that was initially devoid of Batman. Mr. McGinnis is a rebellious high school student whose life takes a dramatic turn when his father, Warren McGinnis, is tragically murdered under mysterious circumstances. Fortunately, Terry had recently stumbled upon the Batcave and discovered the identity of Batman. He convinces Bruce Wayne to mentor him as the new Batman, inheriting the iconic mantle of the Dark Knight. Armed with a futuristic batsuit, Terry becomes the protector of Neo Gotham in a world filled with new and old villains alike. Terry's journey in Batman Beyond involves balancing his responsibilities as a student, son, and the city's new guardian. He faces formidable foes, including the likes of the Joker and other villains, all while navigating the complexities of inheriting the legacy of the original Batman. Throughout the series, Terry evolves as a character, growing into his role as a hero and forming a deep bond with Bruce Wayne as his mentor. However, that doesn't mean that Terry becomes a carbon copy of Bruce. Anyone who is familiar with Batman Beyond will be able to tell you that McGinnis is the exact opposite of Mr. Wayne in a lot of respects. The most prevalent one being Terry's complete lack of experience. He's neither a master martial artist nor a brilliant detective, often having to rely on his futuristic suit and gadgets much more than Bruce or any of the previous Robins. Bruce Wayne also constantly needs to aid Terry through his training and missions. Unlike the Robins, McGinnis was a civilian well into his teenage years, and he wasn't that good of one. Up until his father's death, Terry was a massive delinquent who regularly stayed past his curfew, constantly picked fights, previously belonged to a street gang, and had served a 3-month stint in juvenile hall. He was filled with so much rage and teen angst that his last words to his father were saying how much of a failure Warren was. There's no doubt, Terry would have turned out to become a menace to the city. It's only due to the tragedy of his father's sudden death that changed his life's trajectory. So why do I say that Terry is the true successor of Batman? It's because his journey into heroism is truly beautiful and embodies everything that Bruce hoped to accomplish as Batman. A lot of people tend to focus on the day-to-day aspect of Bruce's stories and tend to forget what his overall plan was in creating Batman. He obviously wanted to personally stop as many hooligans as possible and become a symbol that strikes fear into their hearts. But that's only a small portion of his plan, since he knows that evil will never be realistically wiped out of Gotham. Batman's main purpose is to be a symbol of unyielding hope, a figure that conveys the message that everything isn't hopeless and that everyone has the incredible power of change. including the most vile and despicable people like the Joker or Two-Face. No matter how much suffering the villains cause to Gotham and Bruce personally, he never lets go of his belief in change and reform. With both Bruce's philanthropy and Batman's no-kill policy, he does everything within his power to give everyone the constant chance of salvation. That's why Terry is the one that must ultimately succeed in Batman's never-ending struggle for betterment. It's not that he puts on the mask despite his plethora of faults. He's the one that puts on the mask because of them. Someone that didn't need to be told how far he had strayed in life, but someone with a remorse and desire for justice that comes from deep within his soul. A person that earnestly embodies change, so much so that it was even able to sway the stubborn 80-year-old Bruce out of retirement and make him believe in the mission again. Even when those closest to Terry continue to doubt his intentions, he doesn't hold it against them, but rather works on proving them wrong through his actions. The shackles of his past trauma don't hold him down, but rather lifts him up to be a much better person. He surpasses Bruce and is able to better understand the criminals. He doesn't look down on them as if they were lesser, but can meet and laugh at their level. He transcends his mortality and strikes the failures of humanity directly.
You? What's to know? You're a punk, a rank amateur, a costumed errand boy taking orders from a senile old man.
He'll try to distract you, but don't listen. Block it out and power on through.
Show yourself.
You make me laugh, but only because I think you're kind of pathetic.
Stop that! Don't you dare laugh at me!
Why? I thought the Joker always wanted to make Batman laugh.
You're not Batman! Come on, McGinnis. Laugh it up now, you miserable little punk. Laugh! I can't hear you! Ha! Ha!
For what it's worth, Bruce couldn't have chosen anyone better to put on the mask.
Coming from you, that means everything.
Terry, I've been thinking about something you once told me. And you were wrong. It's not Batman that makes you worthwhile. It's the other way around. Never tell yourself anything different.